Happy Thanksgiving, Halo fans, and while most of you are stuffing your faces with stuffing and turkey and mashed potatoes and green bean casserole and whatever it is your family makes for Thanksgiving, I was on the road home from the happiest place on earth, Disney World, and while I was driving, it was about a 12-hour drive, I got to thinking, what do Halo fans have to be thankful about this Thanksgiving season? And none of it was mashed potatoes, but I decided to make a list when I got home of 5 reasons for us competitive Halo fans to be thankful. And we're going to go through a slideshow here like I did with my last video that wasn't breaking down gameplay. First reason, the 343 Pro Team. Now, before, when Bungie was in control of Halo, there weren't really any skilled players that were helping to shape the game, and the gameplay reflected that quite a bit. Like, one reason League of Legends ended up as successful as it is was because when Riot started hiring their first hires in the game, they always looked for high elo players when it came to design or quality assurance hires. And the reason you want that is those players are the ones that are going to tell you how your game is going to be played when it's in the hands of the best players. And because of that, Halo 5 is quite possibly the most balanced Halo at launch that we've received to date. Granted, every Halo's received post-launch balance changes and such. Like Halo 2 had that massive auto update that changed everything about the game and made it a little bit better to play. Halo 2 at launch was not that great. After the patch, it was fantastic. Halo 3, not really that balanced. Halo Reach needed no bloom to be playable. Halo 4, we had the massive balance patch to adjust the BR's kill speed and the carbine and the range of the DMR and the light rifle. So at launch, Halo 5, compared to other Halo launches, is quite possibly the most balanced Halo we've got. Likewise, the Pro Team, they've helped make features that we had in Halo 4, like Sprint and the Flagnum. Like, a lot of people didn't like those in Halo 4, and while some of them wanted it to be completely removed from the game, they're back in Halo 5, but they're tolerable now. Like, you can drop the flag, which you couldn't do in Halo 4. Sprint is much more balanced than it was in either Reach or Halo 4. So, like, Halo's Pro Team, or the 343 Pro Team, has helped make those features to where they're not sore thumbs in Halo, and the community aren't like banding together to have these things removed again because they actually fit with the gameplay of Halo from now. And also, we've had a few community-focused events where 343 put out their pro team against top pros, where we had the one where we voted the players to play in Halo 2 Classic against 343 online. We saw just a few weeks ago 343 versus the Internet, where several top European players faced off against 343 to win some gigantic TVs. And so we've seen the 343 Pro Team being utilized quite well by Microsoft and 343 to where they've been used as both an advertising and marketing part of the team, but they're also high-level quality assurance, so they make sure we have a really good game. And for that, I am extremely thankful that 343 has hired Ghostiyame, Neighbor, Dursky, Strongside, and although he's not part of the pro team, Bravo, like all of these high-level players that are deeply tied to the competitive scene, whether historically or currently, it's great to see that they have a voice in 343. Second, the maps in Halo 5. Now, before you're like, I don't like the maps in Halo 5, I don't like Coliseum, I don't like the rig, I don't like any of this shit. Stop. Because when it comes to launch maps, and again, I'm going to stress launch, like from the game's first form that we see on the market, in stores, whatever, Halo 5 has had the most usable 4v4 maps than any other Halo had when they first went into stores. We've got Coliseum, Eden, Empire, Fathom, Plaza, the Rig, Truth, and Regret. Those are all good 4v4 maps. I'm not going to say great. The Rig has reasons to be complained about. It can be a little stale, but I'd rather have the rig than lockout any day of the week. You can crucify me for saying it if you want, but that's just my opinion. Empire may be a little hectic and have a little bit of an issue with too many automatics, but it's still just a solid map that we didn't have to go into Forge to make. Like Halo 3, we had to have Onslaught and Amplified just to be able to have enough maps for the competitive scene with early versions before we got Heretic. Halo Reach, like we had to gut Zealot from its original form. There's just not been a solid amount of maps at launch with other games, and those are just the regular maps. Those aren't counting the Breakout forged maps. They aren't counting the other forged maps that came along. And we don't even have Forge yet, and we have a solid amount of game types. Like, even though we only have Slayer, Capture the Flag, and Strongholds, we have more than 11 game types we can make out of those three variants plus the maps that we have. Like, even without Breakout, we have enough for a competitive tournament just out of the maps we've gotten at launch. And that's something we have not had in Halo before, and for that, I am thankful. Next, we have Breakout, which a lot of you are going to be, I don't like Breakout. Breakout's going to be campy. Breakout's not the same as regular Halo. Why is my shield different? Why do I have health? Why don't I have shields? Why do I do more damage? Again, just take a deep breath and just breathe. Because Breakout is insanely fun. It's different. I will grant that. It's more like speedball and paintball than it is actual Halo. But there are things that Breakout brings that we don't really see at the competitive scene as often as I would like, personally. And that's players really need to go over openings on this to really get a grasp of what their plan is in each game. And no matter how much you practice your openings to get them just right, you always have to evolve over the course of the 9 round game of Breakout. Because, like, no matter what you do, there's a counter to it in the game, and you have to find that counter and then find the counter to that counter. It's sort of like a Yomi Layer 3 thing, which I'm not going to go deep into what Yomi Layer 3 is. I've written about it plenty, but basically, Yomi is reading your opponent and being able to predict what they're going to do, and then you have to predict what they're going to do in reaction to you predicting what they're going to do until, like, you've gotten this level of you're playing 2 or 3 steps ahead of what's actually happening on the screen. And with that, there's a constant evolution of the metagaming of each team when it comes to openings on Breakout, because if, say, we're going to send 3 guys to rush high on camo ramp right off the start, well, maybe we're going to sit back and just bank 2 nades short, so if you rush, you go through those grenades and you're just completely melted. Maybe we're going to send 4 guys that way and just melt you as you jump over the hill. There's so many different ways to react and counter-react and preemptively act to every action in Breakout, and so it actually encourages studying Halo, which is something that I feel pros in the past haven't really done, except for like a few individuals. But as a team, Breakout encourages so much more of that, like analyzing what the actual game is about, and that's something that's extremely healthy in the context of competitive Halo. And one more thing about Breakout, I've got it as the last bullet point there. Currently, passive plays, like if you play slow on Breakout, you get run over, because there's plenty of time for your opponents to figure out which lanes you've chosen to put numbers in, and they can stack a lane that you're not very comfortable in. And if you get stacked on, you lose a player, then they have numbers over you, and it's pretty easy for them to clean up around. So as it stands right now, playing Breakout slow is really punishable. Now, that's something we'll have to see if it lasts. I have hope that it'll last that way, because aggressive plays in Halo 5 are fun to watch. Like, Halo 5 is a fast game, and Breakout encourages that to stay fast. So I like Breakout, and I'm thankful we have this edition, even if it's not what many Halo fans really wanted to see out of Halo. It's been a great edition, and for that, I am thankful. Moving on to the next one, Spectator Mode. Now, again, we've got people. Spectator mode just isn't working right, is it? I can't see anything. I'd rather just do the old way. But as a guy who's been making videos over here, a content creator, and kind of want to be a caster at some point, it gives us access to pro gameplay to present to an audience without having to like sift through streams or anything like that. We have a way. It's not the most efficient way, but we now have a way to actually get access to pro gameplay without having to go through a file share system, which we don't have yet. Without having to beg pro players to put a film up in their file share or send it or stream it or just. It's so much less of a hassle than previous methods. Like, I don't have to use my own gameplay if I can't get a pro's gameplay. I just have to be on a friends list with a pro, spectate their game, and I can make a video for it. And also, for the people who want to study or analyze different pro players' tendencies in a game, it makes it easier to like watch one game and get how 8 different people play the game, rather than trying to watch a stream and doing it one person at a time, which that speeds up your capabilities eightfold. Like, you can see what 8 different people are doing at one time rather than just one. I mean, it's not actually 8 times faster since you do still have to watch 8 different people, but there's so much less sifting through games, sorting through games to figure out what they're doing. So for that, it's just a more efficient manner than what we've had in previous Halos. It also, during broadcasts and such, it allows for better replays and demonstrative explanations. Like, you can switch into free cam mode and just like watch overhead, so you can explain things more easily to the viewer at home than you could with just like spectating an individual person and doing the 8 different streams constantly and switching screens that way. So spectator mode needs improvements, but it's a big step forward for Halo's ability to be broadcasted. And so for spectator mode, I am thankful. And that brings us to the last slide, the 5th thing to be thankful for. And you should know what this one is. It's pretty much the storyline in Halo. $1.7 million. Requisition packs being sold. Like, Halo being able to gain money past launch just gives so much more for the future of Halo. Like, when games are only making money with box sales and occasionally map packs, there's only so much you can get out of it. But when it's a recurring thing that you can just keep having players funnel money into your game after launch, there's so much more room for sustainability. You can have more work done on your game after it's launched. And this way to fund it rather than selling map packs means you don't splinter the community over time. Like, again, for the competitive community, the prize pool is the big focus here. But for me, I'm more focused on, like, Halo is getting money post-launch to keep adding to Halo 5 rather than just focusing on Halo 6. Granted, we know they're already working on Halo 6, but they've still got a sustain team to keep working on Halo 5, improving Halo 5 in terms of balance, new maps. We're going to get Forge mode soon. Presumably, we're going to get some improvements to other bits of the game. I'm really looking forward to Forge mode because I always like fiddling around in it, trying to make maps. But like, the money that keeps going into Halo 5 with the rec packs means they can spend even more time working on Halo 5, improving the game, and polishing what they've already got. And granted, I've already said Halo 5 is the most polished at launch Halo we've gotten. And they still have time and money to work on it because we're able to just like use our passion to donate to the game and get something back as a result of it. Rec packs have been a fantastic addition. And that closes out my list of 5 things to be thankful for with Halo. I think my next slideshow video I'm going to end up doing, it may be a week or 2 from now, but I'm going to make a Christmas list of things, Christmas list for Halo fans, my Christmas list for Halo 5. If you have any ideas for things you'd like to see added to Halo 5, or maybe balance changes, maybe you don't like the storm rifle, throw them in the comments section of my YouTube video here. And be sure to like and or subscribe to my channel. And with that, that's all. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and have a happy Thanksgiving.